Hello, and thank you for taking time to review the presentation on the proposed Hay Road residential development. This presentation has been provided by the City of Revelstoke Development Services Department as the first step in public engagement from the City on this proposed project. The presentation covers a number of topics listed here on the slide. A key component of this presentation is the question and answer section about the proposed development. The purpose of the presentation is to provide information remotely instead of one in-person public meeting, given the current situation with the pandemic. This allows the City to provide residents with a summary of what stage in the process the Hay Road proposal is at, and the next step in the municipal process. During this presentation, you will hear about the community questions and comments made so far and the City's responses to those questions. Please remember to complete the survey on the project webpage after you watch the presentation. There have been activities occurring related to the Hay Road development proposal. This section provides details on what has occurred so far and what is proposed for next steps. The project applicant has conducted a number of community engagement and information gathering activities. Between February and June of last year, pre-application meetings took place between the City Development Services staff and the applicant. These meetings are an opportunity for the City to understand what type of development is being proposed and determine the information required to fully consider the application. Between the application submission in late June 2019 and December 18, 2019, numerous public meetings and engagement opportunities were hosted by the applicant. We are currently at the stage of beginning the municipal review process. The City begins this by gathering public input on the project being proposed. At the moment, this presentation and survey are one of the opportunities being offered to gather public feedback. As we navigate through the COVID situation, the City may be able to offer other ways to gather feedback from the community. The process steps on the screen show there will be a number of touch points with the public and council before considering the application fully. There are a number of requirements a development must align with, such as, does it align with the official community plan in terms of land use, zoning, density, overall community objectives and goals? What does the proposal do to contribute to community needs? What is the cumulative impact of this project on infrastructure capacity? These and other questions need to be considered during the approvals process as outlined on this slide. The applicant has created a vision for the proposed development as shown here. The applicant envisions a range of housing options while considering the local ecology and environmental impact. High environmental building standards are part of the applicant's vision for the proposed development as well. For those of you that might not be familiar with the proposed project, it's located in the Arrow Heights area at Hay Road and Grizzly Lane as shown on the map here. So a little bit about the project being proposed. It is approximately 3.4 hectares or 9.4 acres in area and is mostly undeveloped vacant land. There is a steep slope on the eastern edge of the property. The official community plan land use has identified this parcel as future growth area. The current zoning is R1, single family residential. The proposed project is a total of 60 residential units consisting of single family, duplexes, and row houses, some of which are proposed to be long-term rental. This slide shows conceptually which housing typology would be located where over the 3.8 hectare site. Along the periphery of the parcel, around the outside, there are single-family units proposed as well as a park on the northern top edge of the diagram shown on the slide. The yellow area is where the steep slope is located and one housing unit is proposed for that area. Then as you move towards the interior of the parcel, duplex and row houses, as well as an internal park and pathway system are proposed. So the following section provides answers from the City to the questions raised at the applicant's community engagement activities. The following slides provide the question from the community, and then the city's response to those questions. The first question asks why the developer is proposing to build duplexes and row houses in what is currently a single-family neighborhood. As the city grows and changes, so will our neighborhoods. Revelstoke has been experiencing growth, and with that comes challenges to ensure there is enough housing to accommodate both new and long-time residents, shifting family needs and transitions, range of housing, cost, and tenure. The lands for this project are currently designated as urban growth, which means when that policy was adopted in 2009, it was expected that development would occur on the lands to accommodate growth. Revelstoke's Housing Needs and Demands Analysis report called for a diversity of housing in Revelstoke to accommodate the growing need. The addition of housing stock and rental tenure could help alleviate some of the current housing need in Revelstoke. Why are you proposing high-density development? So question 2 has to do with the density of the proposed development. Some community members feel it is too high of a density for the neighborhood as it exists today. This development proposal is categorized as low density according to the existing OCP policy because there are 15 units per hectare being proposed. 61% of the proposal is single-family units. Question 3 is a straightforward answer. There is no vacation rental zoning being proposed for this development application. Neighborhood character is being accounted for in the proposal by placing single-family parcels around the periphery as well as a park adjacent to an existing home. The middle of the property is where a pocket park and duplexes and townhomes will be located. The height of the residential units throughout the proposed development will be the same, which means there will not be over 2.5 stories built on any of the parcel buildings. Question 5 is about sewer services being brought to the site. Yes, sewer is being proposed along Hay Road, and the cost will be the responsibility of the developer. If existing properties along Hay Road would like to connect to the sewer line, they will have that option and can discuss this with the city's engineering department to make sure that it is technically possible to connect to sewer from their site. The following slide shows the location of existing and proposed water and sewer infrastructure. The legend on the top right of the slide indicates which lines are existing and proposed. The blue dotted lines are the proposed water lines. The red dotted lines are the proposed sanitary sewer lines. And stormwater is proposed to be managed on site by infiltration. Traffic was raised as a question by the community. The city's engineering department reviewed the traffic impact assessment and concluded that due to the minor scale of this development in relation to the existing road standards in intersections, there will be no intersection improvements required for the Hay and Nickel intersection. It is important to note, though, that due to the proposed RMR Golf Course, Mackenzie Village, and the Hay Road proposal, the city is working on the redesign of Nickel and Kamazi roads. This will reduce traffic volumes along Nickel past Hay Road. Expect to see construction sometime between 2021 and 2023. There are 2 new intersection options being considered, a mini roundabout and a 3-way intersection. This slide shows the location of the proposed future intersection, the section of Kamazi Road to be closed, as well as future sidewalk connections, which will be discussed in more detail on the next slide. Community members asked if there would be a sidewalk provided along Hay Road. The answer is yes. The purple dotted line on the map represents the location of the sidewalk. This would be constructed at a cost to the developer. The yellow line represents a future sidewalk the city is considering in order to provide a winter connection to Arrow Heights School. Loss of green space and connectivity were raised as concerns by some community members. To address this, the applicant is proposing 2 parks and a connection from Hay Road to Grizzly Lane, as shown by the yellow line. The previous slides described a number of proposed elements for the development. They include parks, connectivity through the proposed development, and to from the development with sidewalks, water and sewer infrastructure improvements at the cost of the developer, an increase in housing and housing options, including long-term rentals for Revelstoke residents. Existing trees are to be retained on the site where possible, and the applicant has proposed that homes constructed follow the BC Step Code requirements to reduce energy use and operation costs for the homeowner or the renter. Now that you have an overview of the proposed project, the next steps in the process will be provided. Early in the presentation, this slide was shown to outline the city's approval process. We are currently at the first step in the municipal process where the city gathers initial public feedback on the proposed development. The next slide will provide more information on how you can participate. Once this initial round of public input to the city occurs, feedback and potential revisions to the proposal take place. Depending on the amount of revisions, the city may decide to gather more input or proceed to reporting to council for first reading in preparation for a public hearing. The public hearing is another opportunity for the community to provide their input to council. As you see from the process outlined on the slide, there are many steps prior to a project becoming approved. This concludes the presentation slides regarding the proposed Hay Road project development. As already mentioned, your feedback via the survey will inform the city's review process. We estimate that the survey should take about 20 minutes to complete, and we provided instructions on how to link to the survey on the city's Development Services webpage. So thank you for your participation and interest in the proposed Hay Road development. If you require more information or have any problems finding the survey link, please contact Development Services at revelstoke.ca. Thank you.